that is 5-day faculty development program organized by Association of Indian Universities, MT Medical University Haryana, Academic and Administrative Development Center. So let's begin our session on the day 4 on different domains of ICT-enabled effective nutrition learning. Today we have an impressive array of speakers and presentations awaiting us, each contributing their unique perspective and expertise. I encourage you all to actively participate, ask questions, and engage in thought-provoking discussions. Now I have the honor of welcoming our first speaker for today's session, Dr. Renu Shrestha. Dr. Renu Shrestha is an assistant professor in the Department of Dietetics and Applied Nutrition, MT Medical School, Haryana. She has done her master's and doctorate from well-renowned G.V. Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Punjab. She was the recipient of University Grant Committee Fellowship during her entire PhD tenure. She has more than 6 years of experience in teaching and research. Her dedication for the community-based activities is also commendable. She has been an active member of an NGO for the welfare of street children. Ma'am has published numerous research and reviews in various reputed national and international journals and have a patent with the title Pant Low Glycemic and Hypopidemic Pizza Base, published Indian Journal of Patents. She has authored many book chapters and popular articles and has attended several international and national conferences, seminars, and workshops during academic career. Ma'am has vast experience of delivering guest lectures and training sessions at various esteemed institutions across the nation. Today, we have the privilege of having Dr. Renu Shrestha as a distinguished scholar and an influential member in the field of academy and research. Well, ma'am, I would now request ma'am to please start the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Diksha, for this lovely introduction. First of all, I would like to give my thanks to Dr. Lakshita for giving me this opportunity and this platform so that I can be a part of this event. And I think these types of events are very important as academician or as a professional to enhance or flourish your expertise, to flourish your knowledge, and most of all, to come out of your comfort zone. So thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. So I am very much, I think we have to start our session. I'm sharing my screen with you all. I think my PPT is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Thank you so much. So today we are going to discuss about the innovative technologies in food product development. And I hope after these sessions, all of you have some takeaway message with you and you got benefited by this message, this lecture. So first of all, I just wanted to introduce this part that scientist or researcher, we all know that what is the importance of food product development in our field. So with the increasing demand of the consumers and the increasing consumer awareness about the different ingredients and their enthusiasm with the their healthy lifestyle and the fitness, it is all giving a very much burden in the food industry to innovate new food products day by day. So first of all, before starting this session, this is very important to know that what is innovation, because for a different person, the perspective of innovation is different. For a normal terms, the innovation is termed as the process in which we just invent or discover a new idea or invention. So that is not actually the innovation. There are so many researchers who said that innovation is actually the process of transforming these discoveries, these new ideas and invention into any goods or services that consumers or customers are willing to purchase. That means that should be acceptable by the general population. That is at most important when we are innovating anything. So innovation have different aspects, like there is a science involved in it. There is a technological involvement in the organization where the innovation has been done. These all are the very important aspect of the innovation. Beside that, with the innovation, there comes the social responsibility, because innovation is done for the general population. So this social responsibility is always there with the inventor, and risk factor associated, that is always there when we are innovating something. So with the innovation, there comes the risk factor. So when we invent something, so there is always there could be, or there could not be, but there is always some associated risk factors with it. And a inventor or food scientist or the researcher have to keep those all things in the mind when he is innovating something. So innovation has gave us some very advantages like tangible and intangible things. So with the tangible outcomes, we have the new products, we get the new ideas, we get the new designs and expertise. These are come under the tangible advantages of the innovation. With the intangible ones, we have new processes and the way of conducting businesses or the organization. These are some intangible advantages of the innovation, which we generally get. But as a food scientist or as a nutritionist or R&D personnel, we know that food science and nutrition in this field, particular field, innovation is very challenging. Why this is challenging? Because of some problems like the food neophobia. So food neophobia is the fear for accepting the new foods. People generally don't like to accept new foods, and they don't want to give practical aspect for that. So this fear for the new food, this concept of food neophobia generally come from the toddlers or the kids. They generally have this food neophobia, but some adults after maturity also they have this food neophobia. They are very reluctant for accepting new food items with new ingredients. So this is a challenge, most of the population having this food neophobia. If you just think it practically, when you go for going for the dinner or some lunch outing, so whatever there is the menu, we just go for the food items which we have already consumed, because we don't know what is the ingredient in that particular recipes. So we generally order the same food which we have already eaten, and we know that it is testified and it is it will give us a good pleasant flavor after eating. So that is something which is very challenging in our field, in the field of nutrition. So these challenges we have to overcome these challenges by the consumer acceptability, by knowing what today's consumers want, what he's thinking, by thinking of in perspective of the consumers. So now I next want to go with the development of the food product, because this whole lecture is in the development of the new food product. So first of all, we should know that what is the development of food product, new food product. So development, in general layman language, we'll say that mixing a few ingredients and giving some kind of processing technique will develop a food product. But developing a food product is much more than that. It has lots of physical and chemical processes in it. There's so many ingredients we have to put. And if you see, think from the perspective of a food industrialist who have to, produce the food in a very high amount, the large scale production is there. So very minute, steps are very important in that perspective. So if we are making it in a kitchen, that's okay. If it's not good, we'll throw it out because the amount is very less. But if we are making it in a food industry, this amount is very, very high, then these small steps become very important in this, because one minute fault in that one particular step can can deteriorate the product, the whole lot of the product. So development of food product, this consists of the mixing of ingredients, which undergoes a sequence of lots of physical and chemical processes, addition of the additives. There are kneading, there is a caramelization. There are so many physical, thermal, non-thermal processes are there, which help to produce new food products. So these all the design of the by which the food products has been developed, it involves two sides. In one side, we means a researcher should have the capability to capture the consumer's needs and preferences. That is very important. Whenever we are going for innovating a food product, the first thing first what we should have in our mind, that what is the consumer's need and preference. So after that, the another thing comes to the capability to translate these preferences in a product attribute. That means we have to translate these all needs and preferences into a product attribute characteristics. Either it could be a textural one or the organoleptic one. Any attribute should it could be there. So these things we have to keep in mind. So there are 3 steps which are there in the design procedures. So first, we already know that identification of the consumer need and preference is at most important step. This is the first step which as a food industrialist or as a food scientist, we have to cover. So we have to identify that what is the demand or the need of today's consumer, because it is changing day by day. These demanded and the needs and preferences are changing. So we have to keep that on mind. That is the first thing first. Then again, we have to translate these needs into the preferences, by which means, with the various chemical and physical properties and the processes, we have to try to inculcate these needs and preferences into the properties of the particular product. After that, the next step comes the combination of ingredients in a mix and in a several processes. So that is the combination, how we combine different ingredients so that we'll get the final product. So these are the 3 steps which are very, very important when we design any product actually. But nowadays, the role of the product development is changing day by day. Centuries ago, the approach of the product development was always supply based. So whatever, because there was monopoly, there was not so much competition in the market, and whatever food industries are getting into the market, consumers are reluctantly or it's up to them that how they are purchasing it. So they have to have it because they don't have much option for that. But nowadays there's a reversal of chain. That means now the food industries are going back. That means now the shift is there in this approach. The supply-based approach is changing to the demand-based approach. That means food, because there's so much competence is there in the market. So now it is more and more demand-based, that what customer is is needing. So according to that, they are giving that kind of product in the market. And why it is more challenging? Because everyone wants their personalized taste. They have their personal taste. Their eating patterns is different, and so that's why, and every one of them need the tailored supply. Okay, so because of that, it becomes more challenging for the food industry to occupy the needs of every customer. Now, if we see the different aspects of the consumer needs and preferences, we can see there are 3 different aspects which are very important. Like price is there. So we know in a large population like India, there are different social strata income groups, okay, and they have different purchasing power. So as an industry or as a scientist, we have to take care of, or we have to take care of all those population. So price is something that means like if we see the example of any big industry like Britannia, if I say. So Britannia is making a 5 rupees packet of this glucose biscuit to the very sophisticated this Bournville and Bourbon and all type of biscuit, which are generally consumed by the higher incomes or middle income groups. So the price is very important. So purchasing power of the consumer is it affect the what kind of food products is going to be developed by the producer. After that, taste, I told you earlier that taste is very different. Every individual have their different tastes. So companies have take this thing, and they now in the market, you can see different types of menu, variety in the food with different tastes, like means, there is a peri peri taste, there are this paneer tikka taste. So different taste according to the individual preference. So that is a very important aspect. So, and all the food industries and all the means, R&D personnel are taking care of that too. And after that, the composition is obviously because some part of the population that is health freak, they are very much aware about what they are eating, and some part of the population, they are means, whatever they are getting, they'll have it. So composition matters a lot. For that part of the population who is health freak, we have to give them products which are means, millet rich, which are superfood rich. So the composition also, because consumers are very aware nowadays, they read the labels, they read the nutritional composition, they read how much calories they are getting from one pack of food items. So these types of awareness has means, changed the aspect of product development. So these price, taste, and composition are the main consumer need and preference aspect which food scientist or R&D personnel has to take care of. After that, consumer preference and sensorial perspective and sensorial analysis. So whenever we make a new food product, we know that sensory or organoleptic characteristics are very important. Whatever is the food, either it is healthy or junk or anything it is, but I'm just saying in perspective of the food industrialist. So the sensory and means, sensorial characteristic should be on the means, in at most importance for that particular consumer. So how we do these types of sensory analysis is also very important in this food product development scenario. The study of consumer food behavior is generally focused on two classes of the variables. One is the behavioral variable, and another one is the attitudinal. So behavioral one is the choice of the consumer or the purchasing power of the consumer, or how much he wants to spend in the product. That is the behavioral aspect of the sensorial analysis. Now the attitudinal variable is like liking and disliking and frequency of consumption. That means if you are making a food item which is very good and its sensory characteristics are very much high, but the frequency of consumption is very low, that means it is not going to benefit the food industrialist, if we'll say by the profit. So frequency of consumption has the equal importance when we talk about the food behavior. So a well-established and long-standing program of research on sensory analysis and consumer acceptance of food, it supports the innovation of the food sector. So that means if we want our food innovation to be successful, we have to take care of the consumer acceptance, and we have to do a very programmed research on the sensory analysis of the food product. That is well-established and long-standing programs should be there. Now we are talking about the sensory experiences or organoleptic evaluation so much. So that is very important. So first of all, we'll know that what is actually the sensory evaluation. So sensory evaluation is described as a scientific method which we use to measure or analyze or interpret the responses which we get from our five senses, like our sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. Okay, so these sensory experience has a very vast impact on the acceptance of the food product. So if a food product is very good visual aspect, means its packaging is very good, it is very yummy looking, but its flavor or aroma is not very pleasant, so that means it is not going to work out. Okay, so if you are purchasing a bread or any biscuit, suppose, so you want that it will means, the crunchiness should be there. So that is a tactile experience. So when you bite it, there should be some kind of crunch is there. So if it's a slothy or the stale, you are not going to like it. So these kind of sensory experience are very, very important when you talk about the food product development. So we have to take care of all these sensory analysis. Now, sensory analysis was traditionally done by the trained or semi-trained panelist in a laboratory setup. So there is some set of 15 or say 20, 30 panelists are there who are generally food scientists, nutritionists, or the food techites. So who have this means, who knows the different methods, how to calculate or how to means, change those behavioral concept into the numerical one, like scorecard, how to use 9-point hedonic scale. So these things, those panelists, they have this they have all the responsibility to do the sensory analysis, either it is in the laboratory setup or in the food industries. But with the food panelists, with the human panelists, what is the problem? There is always the chances of the errors and the biasness, because after all, we are all humans and we have heart too. So sometimes these human emotions can get in between the results of the sensory analysis. So now the concept of digitalization of sensory analysis is coming into the market, where the sensory analysis is done by the brainwave and length analysis and the artificial intelligence. This is a study done by the Varna Kulsurya et al. 2020. This is the very good study on the sensory evaluation, in which they use brain wavelength and artificial intelligence, because every taste, we that in our taste, in our tongue, there are generally 5 taste buds: for salty taste, for sweetness, for the bitterness, sourness, and the umami taste is there. Okay, so generally salty, there are some tastes which are very pleasant in nature, like carbohydrate. If we consume carbohydrate, they are generally sweet in nature. So when we eat carbohydrate, our brain emits different types of wavelengths. And when we eat some bitter taste, like bitter gourd we are eating, so that will create a different wavelength. So these messages of taste transfer from the taste bud in the tongue to the brain through, it goes through the cranial nerves, and the signal is first captured by the areas in the brain stem, which connects the spinal cord with the rest of the brain. So with the brain, the signal passed to the thalamus, and at last this thalamus passes the signal onto a special area into the frontal lobe of the cerebral cortex, जिसे हम बोलते हैं gustatory cortex, where the taste signal is interpreted by the brain. So this frontal lobe of the cerebral cortex is the area where all the the signals for a particular taste has been interpreted by the human brain. Likewise, if we order something, the nose odor is there, the signal from the odor, it goes into the primary olfactory cortex, that is the small center of the brain. And when these two signals meet, they they generate the perception of the flavor. So the flavor is the aroma plus taste. Okay, so this is the difference between the flavor and taste, that there are so many people who don't know the difference between the taste and flavor. So flavor is the collaboration of the taste and the aroma. So when both those aromatic messages and the taste messages has met in the brain, they generate the flavor or flavor message, and generate some kind of a certain wavelengths in the brain. So by using this brain wavelength analysis and AI, in which you can see there are different biosensor, which by the electromagnetic waves, these capture these wavelengths, and by this brain wave analysis, brain computer interfacing, we get the idea that actually that particular person, the panelist, is liking that food or not. So, but with this brainwave analysis and artificial intelligence, the main problem is that we are only getting the idea either the consumer is or the panelist is liking it or not. Okay, so how much he is liking or how much he is not liking, that is not being generated by this BCI. But again, researches are being going on this field, and I hope in a few years, we'll get the very advanced stage of this brainwave analysis. So this is one very important, I think, innovation in the field of food science, where we are not dependent on the human interpretation of the sensorial characteristics of the food, because with the human interpretation, there is always some amount of biasness and error is there. Now we'll move ahead with some innovative processing technologies. So innovative processing technologies means that we are using some novel thermal and non-thermal processing because, with the growing food industries and the higher demands of the customers, there is a need for faster supply of the products. So for that, we need the technologies which are faster and which give great output with as compared to the conventional one, whatever conventional technology we are using. So the novel processing technology, which generally include the use of radio frequency for the use of higher pressure processing, ultrasounds, there is impulse electric field use, and there are many more like this. So I will go ahead with some of these novel processing technologies now. So use of radio frequency in food processing. So radio frequency, we know that it is an electromagnetic energy. We have a frequency range of 1 to 300 megahertz. And when we use these radio frequency in the food industry, that means we are converting this electromagnetic energy into the heat energy, so that we can utilize this heat in processing of the food, like in the sterilization or in the pasteurization process or in the baking process, because there are so many researchers are going on this field that how radio frequency is better than the conventional one. The very much importance of this radio frequency, or the benefit of this radio frequency, is that the heating by the radio frequency is directed to the product and not to the surrounding air. So that means there is always an even heating from the inside to outside, because with the conventional heating, what is the main problem? What is the main challenge as a food industry is that conventional heating always start with the surface. So when there is a baking or pasteurization or any other sterilization process, when we use the conventional heating, there is always an uneven heating. That means there is always the chances of the surface dehydration. But with the use of the radio frequency, this problem does not occur, because radio frequency mein jo hota, there is an oscillating electric field. So there is a very even distribution of the energy or heat. So radio frequency heating is different, that it heats at the molecular level. And beside dehydration, this radio frequency has promising effect in the baking, in the pasteurization process and the sterilization process. So this is where we are food industries are using radio frequency over the conventional heating processes. Now the next novel non-thermal heat, high pressure, novel processing is high pressure processing, in which this high pressure of water, that is 100 to 1000 megapascals of pressure, is used to cause microbial destruction and significantly slow down the enzymatic reaction in the food. So generally these high pressure processing are being used in the food products who are very sensitive. That means in which the vitamin content is very high, whose nutrient content means, which are heat labile. So if we want to provide non-thermal processing to those sensitive food products in which we want to protect the integrity of the nutrient composition of the food, then we use this high pressure processing in those, like in fruit juices or the fruit cuts. So in those types of things, we use the high pressure processing. So this is one of the most innovative technologies to process the sensitive products, and it uses the pressure up to the 100 to 1000 megapascal. And the main thing is that with this, microbial destruction is very much high. So this is a vessel, pressure vessel, in which the packed foods have been placed. You can see in the diagram that there is a closed pressure vessel in which there is a water pressure of even even water pressure is there of 100 to 1000. This change in pressure is according to the products. So how much pressure we want to give, it varies on the product. So HPP promotes microbial destruction and inactivation of enzymes, leaving intact the smaller molecules like vitamins, minerals, and other micronutrients or polyphenic contents, as well as the volatile compounds. We know that these volatile compounds are very important for the aroma and for enhancing the flavor of or taste of the excuse me, of the food product. So if any food item who is having these volatile substances or polyphenolic contents or high vitamins and mineral content, so in those food products, HPP is very much good. Now, the next novel technology is the use of ultrasound energy. So till the date, ultrasound energy has been used in medical laboratory tests, like in the diagnostic test, we use the ultrasound energy. But now food industries are also are very welcoming in for using this ultrasound energy. Again, there are two areas where this ultrasound energy has been used for the diagnostic tool, like for detecting the foreign bodies in the food, or as a source of energy also, and for detection of the foreign bodies, for the microbial agents, to analyze the size of the droplets in the emulsion of the oils and fats, and to determine the extent of crystallization in the emulsion. So in the dairy food industries, there's a very much use of this ultrasound energy, and they are very much into use. Now there are two main applications of ultrasound processing, that is mechanical effect are there, and chemical and biochemical effects are there. So crystallization of fats, sugars, this is the mechanical effect of the USP, degassing, destruction of the foams in the emulsions, the extraction of the aromas, filtration and drying, mixing and homogenizing of the mixtures of the non-solving solving particulates, freezing. These are some mechanical effects of the USP. Now the bacterial action, wastewater treatment, modification of the cell growth, changes in the enzymatic activity in the food, and sterilization of active equipment are some of the area in which these USP has been used chemically and biochemically. So these are some applications of USP in the food industry. Now, we have already talked about the food product, their sensorial aspect, the processing techniques. Now, the next thing which is very important in food industry, or as a researcher, which we thought about a lot, that is packaging. Okay, so innovative packaging materials are at most, they are in very much into, because traditionally packaging has been used for the containment of the food products only. So, but nowadays this scenario has been changed. These things are changing. Packaging has much more role than only the containment of the food products. So, what are these innovative packaging, and how we can utilize these in the industry setup or the laboratory setups? That first is the edible films and the coatings. So films and coatings, which are used interchangeably actually to indicate that the surface of food is covered. So the main function of this edible film and coating is to increase or enhance the shelf life of the food product. Okay, so a film is occasionally differentiated from a coating. So what is the main difference between this coating and the film? that coating is generally done by the immersion or by the spraying. These are the techniques of spraying. So that means we have some biopolymers with it. This is generally carginins or algins or the cellulose biopolymers, which we mix with some plasticizers or natural based active agents and additives, and we make a very good film better out of it, and we just coat our food products like fruits ho gaya, vegetables ho gaya, the food we just coat, and meat products ho gaye. So we just immerse it or we spray it with that. It is the coating. Okay. And film, if we just cast it and make it a film and then apply it into the wrapping the food, you use these films for wrapping the food product, then it is a different concept. So that is this is the main difference. So chemically or molecular wise they are same, but there is a jo physical jo demonstration of both are different. So what are the uses of edible films and coating? So an edible film or coating provides a replacement and or fortification of natural layers to prevent the moisture losses. So we have already seen wax coated apples in our in normally we see that. So that kind of coating is, or films are generally used from the centuries or from the decades in our food industries. So they generally, the main importance of these films is to aesthetic look provide karna. Then another thing is to prevent the moisture loss, because for the fruits and vegetables, the moisture loss is something which enhance the spoilage of that particular food. So that's why this natural layer is used to prevent the moisture loss. After that, it selectively allow for controlled exchange of the important gases like oxygen is there, carbon dioxide is there, and ethylene gas is there. So there is a selective permeability with these we get from these edible films. A film or coating can also provide surface sterility and prevent loss of other important components. So that means the nutrient loss with these edible films and coatings are also minimized, could also be minimized. So this is also a very important aspect of using this edible films and the coatings. Now, these are some traditional and novel material sources which we generally use for making edible films and coatings. You can see there are vegetable proteins, there are animal proteins, there are polysaccharides, lipids, and wax. And there are so many agro-industrial residues nowadays we are using as a edible films and coating. So these all are the novel and traditional sources. Now we'll come next to the active and intelligent packaging. So active packaging is generally the term which we use when the package has some active function, okay, and beyond the inert passive containment and protection. So this active packaging, you can see then there is a use of ascorbic acid. So this ascorbic acid is utilized as an antioxidant also, and have antimicrobial effects. So it is much more than the normal passive containment and protection, and it is giving something else. Okay, so that is this use of ascorbic acid during as a layer or in the packaging material. So that is called an active packaging. Now, on the other hand, intelligent packaging is generally the ability to sense or measure an attribute of the product, the inner atmosphere of the package or the shipping environment. Now you have heard about the thermochromatic ink in the food items, and in which you can it change the food packaging material changes its colors when there is a change in temperature. So those kind of packaging materials come under the concept of intelligent packaging. So smart packaging is again the combination of both active and intelligent packaging. So what kind of active packaging the food industries are using nowadays? The most frequent active systems scavenge or oxygen from the package or the product and may be activated, for the example, by an outside source like a UV light. Or active packaging is typically found in two types of system, like there is a sachet or pads which are placed inside of package, which like you have seen the silica packages or another edible packages in the food items, by which they can they can absorb the moisture or absorb the oxygen from that particular packaging system. So active ingredients that are incorporated directly into the packaging materials, these are the active agents. You can see there are ethylene scavengers, antimicrobial agents are there, carbohydrate emitters are there, antioxidant which are used for the active agents for food packaging are there, O2 scavengers are there. So these are the so many active agents which are nowadays used by the food industrialist for food packaging system. Now, intelligent packaging, there are some examples of intelligent packaging like thermochromic inks. I have told you earlier that it is an example of, very good example of the intelligent packaging system, where this ink or the color of the package change the color with the change in the environment of the food product, like it is too cold or too hot. So that means it will change its color. So that is the example of the intelligent packaging. So other areas of intelligent packaging have like pathogens or toxin identification, like biosensors are there, microwave doneness indicators are there, radio frequency identifications are there. So these are the sensor by which we can sense the pathogens, or we can analyze the nutrient content of the food product. So these kind of sensors are also available in the market, though they are not very much used by the normal peoples, but again, they are into boom in the laboratory setup. Now, nanotechnology, which is also very important in processing and packaging applications. So various polymer nanocomposites, PNCs, which are prepared by the dispersing an inert nanoscale filler throughout a polymeric matrix, are the latest material which are aimed at solving the problems of the migration and permeability in the traditional packaging system. That means these polymer nanocomposites can utilized as the for alleviating the problems of the traditional packaging system. So this migration of the molecules or the permeability of the gases, this is the main problem which we face as a food scientist in the packaging system. But with the use of these polymers, these nanopolymers, we can take care of these problems. So nanotechnology is not only getting in the packaging system, it is also in the food processing system. Like there are some biopolymers or nanopolymers which are used as an anti-caking agents, which improve the consistency and prevent the lump formation. So there are so many nanotechnology which are coming into the food industry, and though people are not very much there are some population of the world is very reluctant in using these kind of nanotechnologies, but again in the researches are going on, so that if we can make aware aware to those we can aware the consumers about the use of the application of these nanotechnologies in the food industries, like in food processing and food packaging system. Now, another thing is the food quality assurance using artificial intelligence. So from the standpoint of the food industry, these machine learning softwares, robotics, computer vision are commonly used in the 4 Ps of the food industries. What are these 4 Ps which are very important in food industries? One is the picking. Picking means choosing the raw material. Either it is a seed, what kind of seed they have to sow for agriculture point of view. And for if a ketchup industry is there, the raw material will be tomatoes. So what quality of the tomatoes they have to choose. So so these time of picking is very important. After that, the processing. And after processing, that thermal and non-thermal processing, what kind of physical and chemical processing we have to give to that particular food. So processing is there, another P for the quality assurance for the food industry. Next thing is packaging and pelletizing. These are 2 Ps which are very important from the point of view of the transportation. So again, how we utilize these artificial intelligence for food quality assurance in these 4 Ps, that is very important. So Now I'm going to discuss about some of these things. So use of machine learning and computer vision in the picking. So there are so many food industries. Generally, these machine learning and computer vision has been utilized by the very big food companies, food industries, because of their cost and why it has a very important role, and why they make the things very smooth, because machine learning plays a role to select the best seed or the raw material among the variety of available seeds and raw material, because it use the algorithm data collection from the previous data. It collect all the data, and by all the algorithm it classify the thing, which is the means, it select the one best quality raw material or seed. So it without using these ML, without using this machine learning, it will be very difficult for the humans to analyze all these data. So with these machine learning, this data collection and interpretation become very easy. Now, the next is use of computer vision in processing. So machine vision is generally computer vision is used by the different sensors. And in this, it closely monitors the color and density of the final product and how it is processed. And it reduces the laborious work of testing each batch of product and making the necessary calculation. So by this computer vision, the food industry can have very easy access to closely monitor or easily access the final product. So that is very important aspect. Now the packaging, how computer vision can be used in the packaging. So after cleaning and filling the packaging material, when we when there is a machine which is setting up for the filling and of the food material in the packaging material, food product. So after that, it is very important to check that all packages are full and clean, and this task is performed by the computer vision nowadays. So a camera which is combined with the sensor is generally used to capture the digital picture of that particular product. So here you can see that how this biosensor with the camera vision is able to segregate the packaged material which is not fully filled or who has loose lid. So by this we can discard the unfilled food packages. Now, use of robotics in packaging and palletizing. So you can see in this picture that a robotic arm is picking food packets and packaging it. So it doesn't require any human assistance here. So it also maintains the track of all the pallets which are based on their production dates and selects them when it is time to send them. So everything is feed in this system, in this robotic system. So there is just a scanner, and this robotic hand is scanning all these scanners, and it is giving the instruction that when, at what time these batches has to go for the transportation. So I think this is a time to conclude this lecture, that in my opinion, that innovation through the creation of the through the creation and diffusion and use of knowledge has been recognized as a key driver of the economic growth, because of the different consumer behaviors and increasing demands of the food product. This food product development is it's a ever growing industry segment, and this food product development segment is highly dependent on the consumer perception and acceptance, because you just saw that how many times I have to use this consumer acceptability, consumer perception, that because consumer acceptance is at most when we are talking about the food product development. So it is very important to include the consumer in the development process, so that the chances of failure in this food industry could be minimized as much as possible. So these sensorial analysis, marketing studies using the AI or the using different advanced digital tools, and in the food industry using different novel techniques, we can increase the mass production of the food product, and we can reduce the chances of failure of these food products in the market. So I think by using these innovative processing techniques, artificial intelligence, we can deliver best quality of product, either it is in the food industry or in the food labs. In every sector, the food product development can be achieved. And I think this is, with this, I last my lecture. Thank you so much for patiently listening.
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Think there are no questions. Artists are share your PPT. The only that will later. So for detailed, well-explained lecture, you have any of your doubts related to science, like real exams and then study. Immediate opportunity to solve.
There is a question from Mr. Dhananjay that as nowadays we have developed many innovative food products with high nutrient and functional properties along with the good sensory evaluation, but still we not go for the newly developed product. Yes, Dhananjay, I think that is the lacking point which we are having, because the collaboration of industry and academia is very, very important when we talk about the innovation, because most of the innovation has been done in the nutrition lab. We make so many things in our lab, but again, we don't have, because obviously we are the academicians and researchers. We are not the marketing persons. Okay. So for the marketing strategies, we have to collaborate with the company so that we can facilitate our innovation to the normal population. So that is very important. Yes, I say.
Ma'am, one more question, I think, from Amtul. They are saying, thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening session on food product development and the techniques and innovative technology. It was indeed insightful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes, ma'am, that's it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Can I leave now?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I have the honor of welcoming our next esteemed speaker, Dr. Soumya Gupta ma'am. Ma'am is currently working as an assistant professor, senior scale at the School of Allied Sciences and Technology, UPES, Dehradun. She has completed her qualification from various renowned and prestigious institutions like bachelor's from Banasthali University, Rajasthan, and master's and doctorate from GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar. She is a distinguished scholar, exemplary speaker, and an influential personality in academic community. She has versatile experience in various areas of food science and nutrition. Besides having the prolific teaching experience of more than 6 years, she also has experience as certified diabetes educator and sports nutritionist. Dr. Soumya have authored many research papers and review articles and has attended several international and national conference, seminar, and workshop during her academic and professional career. Ma'am has a vast experience of delivering guest lecture and training session at various esteemed institutions across the nation. She has won several awards and accolades for her academic excellence like ICR Fellowship for her post-graduation and UGC NET Senior Research Fellowship during her doctorate tenure. Today, we have the privilege of having Dr. Soumya Gupta ma'am among us. Welcome you, ma'am. I would now request ma'am to continue the session, and over to you, ma'am.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Thank you, Diksha. Thank you for the wonderful welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, are the slides visible?
Yes, ma'am. Slides are visible. You can put it in slideshare mode. Yes, ma'am.
Shall we start?
Yes, ma'am. Can start now.
Okay, a very good morning, warm good morning to all of you. So we have almost 59 participants. Can I know how many of you are students? By a quick hand raise.
Most of them are faculties.
Most of them are faculties. Oh, that's also good. Okay, so the topic which I'm given is National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning for the students of food science and nutrition. So I've made the slides, I've made the presentation from the perspective of the students. But anyways, it will be a learning experience for the faculties as well, I hope. So I'm
ma'am.
Dr. Soumya, and let's continue. Okay, so starting with the introduction of NPTEL, which is the National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. It's a joint venture by the 7 IITs and the IISc, as we all know. And it was funded by the Ministry of Education, previously by the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India. The idea was conceived way back in 1999 so as to pave way for the multimedia mode and online web-based learning technology, and to put it forward for the students as well as for the teachers so that they can share a standard academic content among themselves. It was launched in 2003. It was started as a project to take quality education to all the nooks and corners of the country, and it now offers close to around 600 plus certification courses in various domains every semester in about 22 disciplines. So it started with the basic science and mathematics domain, basic science and engineering domain, sorry. But now it has evolved with many other domains. They have added many other domains in the NPTEL platform. Like you will find humanities as well. You will find social sciences, law, management courses. You will find architectural planning, design, etc. So these are further added after it was launched in 2003, but it was previously conceived only for the basic science and for the basic engineering domain. The target group, as we all know, is the students as well as the faculty of the institutions who are offering undergraduate programs, since they are only focused on the basics to provide the basics, the comprehensive knowledge of the basic science. So that's why the target group is the undergraduate students, undergraduate programs. Okay, this NPTEL started with the vision to provide high quality, affordable education at a large scale, and to put forward this education and to put forward to outreach this information in each and every nook and corner of the country. The mission is to develop video lectures, course content, web-based course content, to offer online courses and to conduct examinations in various modes or in various formats like assignments, quizzes, tests, so as to provide certification for in different domains. Then the other mission is to promote the use and its adoption by the undergraduate colleges or those universities which are offering undergraduate programs. Okay, coming to the technology enhanced learning, since the NPTEL is a platform which is enhancing the learning by using or via the use of this web-based online learning. So the objective is to enhance the way the students take up the concepts, to enhance the learning component, to reduce the tedious and the mechanical aspects of some of the current learning methods that are used in the universities by the use of technology in a variety of modes, in a variety of forms. Coming to the highlights, some of the highlights which are shared by the different platforms which are on NPTEL. So basically, the highlight of NPTEL plus SWIM is that they are reaching, or they are putting forward the technical education, the quality technical education to all the corners of the country. Then they're also enhancing the potential of interactivity. Now, when it was launched in 2003, they were only providing web-based online video lectures. But right now, they're also in talks and they are evolving with the lectures, or they're evolving with the sessions, the online live sessions, where the students, they can actually interact with the faculty members in live sessions for around 4 days a week. And they can put forward any of the queries, any of their doubts with the faculties. They can also interact with the faculties. Plus now they have also started to offer internships to the students so that this interactivity sessions, they can be put forward more and more. Now, NPTEL, SWAYAM, both of these platforms, they are attractive and they are both very creative options for both the learner as well as the faculty. They're also putting forward more of the standard academic content for both the teachers as well as for the students, so that they can share a standard academic content. Then we all know that it is enhancing the online, the on-campus, off-campus learning experience for both the learners as well as for the faculty in a distance learning mode. Talking about its impact, its reach, its infrastructure, as you can see that NPTEL, it has its own YouTube page. Then they are also on various media platforms like your Twitter, where they put forward the online content or any of the news or any courses, any domains in which they're adding something new. So that information or any examination tests, all those information they are put forward on these platforms like Twitter, basically. Then they have this YouTube page, which has around 2.07 million subscribers, and they have already uploaded more than 20,000 videos on this platform. And anyone can freely access these platforms. So this is the largest online repository, as you can see, where you will find courses in engineering, basic sciences, and in the humanities, management studies, and other multidisciplinary subjects. It's the most subscribed, highly subscribed education channel that you will find in India. And it has the most accessed library of peer-reviewed education content. So that is the reach of NPTEL right now. You will also find these, I think, TV channels you must have also watched, these DD channels where you will find these courses running day and night. So those are also the initiatives of NPTEL and SWAYAM. So this is the reach again of the program, the NPTEL domains which they're offering from 2020, 21, 22. You can see that it is increasing significantly day by day. 11% faculty have taken their courses so that they can strengthen their foundation, they can explore new domains, or they can keep up with the continuous learning. 82% college students, they are on this platform every day to learn from the experts, to learn at their own pace. Now, to learn at their own pace, they have started with the NPTEL Plus. So there is one platform there is one program which is NPTEL. Then there is another platform or a program which is called as NPTEL Plus. NPTEL provides the pre-recorded video lectures. NPTEL Plus is kind of a platform which you can compare it with the Coursera or EDX, where you can just go ahead with the courses at your own self-paced mode. So learning at one's own pace, that why most of the college students, they're also attracted towards this platform. Then to improve the employability as well as to get the internships. Then 7% industry professionals, the skilled professionals are also on this platform. And so that they can be job ready, they can be trained, or they can reskill themselves. So there is a book where you will find the information about different domains. I have also provided with a link here. If someone wants, I can also provide it in the chat box. So this Google Drive link is there. We'll find the information on each domain, what kind of courses they're offering, for how many weeks those courses are running, about the examination, test, everything you will find on this in this book or either on this Google Drive platform. And currently they are ongoing with their these enrollments which are open. So if anybody is interested, they can also go and enroll themselves in the courses. Okay. So starting with the NPTEL programs. Okay, starting with the NPTEL program. So these are the different courses which you will find under the button NPTEL program. So you will find NPTEL courses. Then they've also added medical courses. Then we have the SOYM and NPTEL. So SOYM is nothing, but it's a MOOC platform which is supported by the NPTEL. Okay. So MOOC platform, it's just like again Coursera, or it's just like any other platform. And it was just supported by the NPTEL. They provide the technology based any kind of a support or enhanced learning to the SOYM. So on NPTEL, you will only find those courses which are initiated or which are provided by those 7 IITs and by the IISc. But on SOYM, you also get the opportunity where you will find courses which are provided by the other university faculties, like even your IGNOU or other central universities like BHU, or any other university who wants to offer courses as per their expertise, or any faculties who wants to offer courses as per their expertise. So SOYM is kind of a MOOC platform supported by the NPTEL. Then you have these NPTEL domain certifications, where you can actually go forward with these certifications in, like, let's say 4 or 5 package of subjects, so that you can be reskilled or you can be job ready. Then you have this NPTEL Plus. Like I said before, that NPTEL Plus, they are just different in their mode of learning. So NPTEL provides you pre-recorded video lectures, whereas NPTEL Plus allows you to have the courses or the learning at your own self-paced mode. So that is the only difference between NPTEL and the NPTEL Plus. Okay, moving forward with the courses under your food science and technology domain. So you won't find as such a discipline for food science and technology when you go on this NPTEL platform. You will find food science and technology based courses under different disciplines, which are offered again by the different multidisciplinary faculty members, again, who belong from the different IITs and the IIScs. As you can see, all of these courses, they're either provided by the faculties from IITs or the IIScs, but under different disciplines, like chemical engineering, mostly under agricultural discipline. Okay. So the first one is the food engineering, which is offered under the chemical engineering discipline. It is offered by a professor from IIT Roorkee. The course outline, or what this course will tell us about, is the engineering principles, the concepts of handling, storing, or the various unit operations which are involved in the food product development as well as in its distribution. Then it also outline the understanding of the various physicochemical, microbiological characteristics of the food, so that various technologies, they can be integrated and they can be developed for those food products preservation as well as for their processing. So this is about the food engineering, and this is a really good course. Second one is the fundamentals of food process engineering. This is offered under the discipline of agriculture, and it is offered by a professor from IIT Kharagpur. You will find the fundamental concepts of food rheology, thermal, non-thermal processing methods for the different food products. Then you have specific or specialized courses also there, like thermal processing of food or cool processing of food. Again, these are being offered under the discipline of agriculture by a professor from IIT Guwahati. You will find here knowledge on various conventional as well as the non-conventional thermal processing technologies like drying, as well as many non-conventional techniques which are coming forward in this age and era. Then you have novel technologies for food processing, shelf life extension, again offered under the discipline of agriculture, offered by a coordinator from IIT Kharagpur. You will find novel processing technologies, non-conventional processing technologies like high pressure processing, membrane technologies, food irradiation, RFs, microwave heating, supercritical fluid extraction. So these are all coming of the age technologies you will find here. Hurdle technology concepts, freeze drying. So you will find all of this under this course of novel technologies for food processing and shelf life extension. Now, most of these courses, they are of 8-week, 16-week courses, and you can easily enroll in all of these courses. Okay, coming towards the other courses, there is this thermal operations and food process engineering, theory and applications. Again, it will be dealing with the fundamentals of food processing, preservation, heat transfer in various coordinates, preservation by high temperature processing, distillation, which is used in food processing industries, and it is offered by a professor from IIT Kharagpur. Then you have post-harvest operations and processing of various food products falling under the category of fruit, vegetables, spices, plantation crop products. It is offered under the discipline of agriculture, offered by a professor from IIT Kharagpur. And what this course will offer is the recent development and the innovations in different science and engineering domains of post-harvest management, and it will deal with the processing of fruit, vegetables, spices, and plantation crop products. Then we have food, oils, and fats. It will deal with the chemistry as well as with the various processing techniques, technology, which we are employing for the processing of food, oils, and fats for the extraction. Again, it is offered under the discipline of agriculture. So you will find most of the courses which are being offered for the food science and technology under the discipline of agriculture under this NPTEL program. It will deal with the basic chemistry of fatty acids, triglycerides, phospholipids, sources, processing technologies, handling, packaging, storage, and how to utilize the byproducts of these seeds. Then we have the dairy and food process and other products technology. Mostly this will deal with the liquid food products or the dairy products, but it will also deal with the other food product technology and their unit operations, the preservation technologies, as well as with the food laws and standards. These are some of the other courses. I'll just name them, like cooling technology, why and how it is utilized in food processing and allied industries, again offered by IIT Kharagpur. Then we have the instrumentation, process control in food industry. Then canning technology, value addition of seafood. Now these two courses, which are particularly on the fishes or the seafoods, they are being offered by the Coforce Panangarh University. These will be these are categorized under the discipline of multidisciplinary and not under the agriculture. They'll talk about the concepts of canning, types of cans, the machinery, the processing, the quality issues, the laws and standards, and the other value-added products which you can develop from the seafood. The other one, which is the food packaging technology, again offered by the Coforce Panangarh. It will deal with the seafood packaging only. So various types of packaging materials, their properties, their application, their packaging systems, equipment, machinery, and the regulation standards. So all of this will be dealt by these faculties from Coforce Panangarh. Okay, now moving forward. So these were the courses for the specific for the food science and technology. Now, if someone from other domains, they want to brush up their skills or they want to learn or reskill themselves, obviously they can go and have these courses. Now coming to the nutrition science, or which are core to a nutrition science student. So we have only these two courses which I found on the NPTEL platform. One is a recent one which is offered by Professor Rupal Dalal from IIT Bombay on maternal, infant, young child nutrition, and it is offered under the discipline of biotechnology. Now, this course is very specialized and it's very specific, and it deals with the maternal nutrition. It deals with the lactating mothers. It deals with the pregnant mothers. It deals with the breastfeeding techniques, how to take care of the newborn, how to formulate, how to give complementary feedings, how to conduct timely nutritional status assessment, and how to do this holistic, how to get involved in this holistic care of pregnant and lactating mothers, as well as for the young aged children. So this is a really good course, which is recently started, I think a year back, by Professor Rupal Dalal. And anyone who's interested in maternal, infant, young child nutrition, again, since it's a core area in which our Poshan Abhiyan is also running, so anyone who is interested in this area, they can go ahead with this course. And it's really a skill-based course. Okay, the other course which you will find under the discipline of agriculture Under the nutrition sciences, nutrition therapeutics and health, offered by Dr. V. Vijayalakshmi from IIT Kanpur. Now it's a very basic but a kind of comprehensive course where you will find the knowledge on, where you find the content on nutrition, the basics of nutrition, basics of diet, health. You will also find content on therapeutic nutrition, therapeutic meal planning, plus as well as the roles which are played by the macro micronutrients during the health, during the diseased condition. So it's a pretty specialized skill-based course again, which is on this NP, which you can find under the NPTEL courses. Okay. Now I've also added certain multidisciplinary courses. Now these courses are actually pretty interesting. So if anyone who wants to, integrate the knowledge of nutrition or food science technology, they can go ahead or they can go forward with these multidisciplinary courses as well. So these courses are under the categories of research or under the categories of, scientific writing or health promotion, intervention, how to plan interventions, how to go ahead with the clinical trials, or, how to understand the population. So these kind of a multidisciplinary courses, which can help anyone or student or a faculty in their research area as well. So the first course which is really interesting and which was a very, you will find a very old kind of a video lectures there, which is offered by Dr. M.S. Veliathan and from IIT Madras. And these are all pre-recorded lectures. The course name is Ayurvedic Inheritance of India. You will find it under general discipline. And you will find a comprehensive knowledge. You will find comprehensive concepts of your Ayurveda, the basic concepts of human body in health as well as in disease as per the Ayurvedic concept, the concept of healthy living or the Ayurveda, you can say the view of life or Ayurveda way of living, then various kinds of a surgical procedure during the disease, then Ayurveda biology or how the body go ahead with the metabolism or how the body adapts during the diseases or during the different life stages. That knowledge also you can get in this course. Then the various new trends or what kind of a researches that are going on in Ayurveda, again, you will find it in this particular course. And this course is really comprehensive, very well planned. And you will find pre-recorded lectures by Dr. M.S. Veliathan, who was an expert in the medical sciences as well as in the Ayurveda. So it's a really good course if someone wants to learn. Okay, the second one is the population studies. Now, why I added this course, particularly this course is valuable for the nutrition sciences students or the faculty members who are, dealing with these large scale population based studies, cross-sectional studies, who are conducting, let's say, or RCTs, trials, etc. So for them, it's very important to understand the population first, right? So this course is offered under the discipline of humanities and social sciences by a professor from IIT Kanpur. And the course is dealing with population geography, quality of life, changing population or the population dynamics, how the population behaves when they migrate from one place to the another. So those trends as well that we usually see in the, in the food and nutrition sciences, that how, the pattern, the eating pattern is changing. So those answers can also be answered using this course or while you're, going ahead with this course. Then population policies and planning, population family welfare, techniques of population analysis, statistical techniques that you can use in such kind of a large population-based studies, as well as aging. So all this, content you will find under this course of population study. And again, this is a really comprehensive and skill-based course where you will find most of the answers for your large population-based studies. The other course which I really like is the basics of health promotion and education intervention. The other course is the research methods and health promotion. Both of these courses, they deal with the interventions, how to promote health, let's say, or health education, health awareness in the population, how to bring about behavior change in the population, how to, assess the needs while you are in between or, with the participants, with the subjects, how to understand their needs and go ahead with the planning, implementation, monitoring, or the evaluation of your intervention program. So both these courses, they'll deal with these health intervention, planning, or, the need assessment kind of a things, which you usually do in during your research-based studies. So again, this is these courses, they're offered under the multidisciplinary discipline, and they're offered by the professors from the IIT Kharagpur. There is one professor which you can see, Dr. Madhumita Dobe. She is a well-known name, and she regularly writes research papers on under mixed method research, mixed method researches or qualitative techniques. So the faculty is really knowledgeable, and this is again a skill-based course. Okay, coming to the other courses which are offered under the multidisciplinary discipline, the other one is the adolescent health and well-being. Now, again, it's a specialized course which only offers the knowledge or the skill set to deal with the specific age group, which is the adolescents, their nutrition, their well-being, what are the changes which are going on in the body while a teenager or when a child enters into the adolescence. What are the behavioral modifications? Now, most of these, eating disorders, they happen under this age group when they enter into this age group. Also, since most of the advertisements, most of the media, they also target this particular age group. So that's why it's very important to understand this age group to conduct the behavior change early. So this course offers that specialized knowledge, specialized content only for this adolescent age group. So the course offers basic concepts of nutrition well-being, normal physiology and the metabolic demands which happens during this age group, then special needs, behavioral modifications to acquire healthy habits, and which are necessary for the optimum growth and the development during this period. Okay, the other course which you can see here is the public economics. Now, this course is offered by a professor from IIT Kanpur. Again, it's a multidisciplinary course, and it deals with the role of the government, the public goods, how the taxes, how the social policies they affect the general public, and it also deals with the various programs and how to conduct their various policies, how to conduct their analysis. Now, anyone who can tell me why this course is important? Public economics, any idea? I think everyone has dealt with the public health nutrition. Everyone, either they have studied or they are teaching this course, public health nutrition or community nutrition. So any idea how this public economics can be connected with the, with that public health nutrition? Or with the public health policy, your economics? Anyone who is integrating these two things? Any hand raised? Okay.
Ma'am, participants do not have the option
Okay.
to disable their unmuted.
Achha.
They
Okay.
can only write answer in chat box.
So they can write their opinion in the chat box.
Yes.
Okay, so this public economics is actually a very interesting course, and you can integrate the learnings from this public economics or public policy, what we usually know it, the terminology from. So this public economics can be integrated with the public health nutrition, as well as with the, in case if you are teaching this public health or let's say a health policy kind of a courses, or community nutrition even, or global health. So there it is very important that we understand that how government works, or how government officials or how bureaucrats work, or what motivates them, to make such kind of a policies. Again, since those policies, they affect the, the general public as well as you. So that's why it's important to know, since we read about these different kinds of programs, which, or the interventions, like let's say Poshan Abhiyan. So why is it designed? Okay, what is the motivation? Or if let's say the if certain program is receiving this much amount of grant or this much amount of money, so what is the motivation, or what is the the forces behind it, that why is it receiving it? So that kind of a knowledge is actually important for a person who wants to go into public health nutrition. So that's why it's important to have a basic knowledge as a teacher, as a faculty member of public policy, or how to, or how these public policies are designed on the basis of economics, or on the basis of these different, different players, I would say, like government, like bureaucrats, like industry. So that's why this course is really helpful for the public health nutrition, for the health policy subjects. Okay. Coming forward to the other programs, you can see a basic research methodology and the basic course in biomedical research. Both programs offer a comprehensive knowledge. The first one provides a theoretical knowledge about the logical reasoning, about the various kinds of models, the philosophy of science, and how to propose, how to test the hypothesis, how to communicate your findings with the different audiences, let's say the faculty members or the scientific fraternity, or with a layman, or with industry personnel. So research methodology deals with all of those concepts, as well as with the ethical issues in the practice of science. It is offered under the multidisciplinary discipline and offered by a professor from IISER, Kolkata. The other course is more hands-on. It provides more hands-on training where you can actually learn, and you can, apply those concepts side by side. So it's basically a skill-based course, the basic course in biomedical research, again offered under multidisciplinary discipline, offered by the National Institute of Epidemiology, Delhi. It provides fundamental concepts in research methodology, that how to plan your research question, from where this research question comes, even the need assessment, how to conceptualize the research study. Then different models, like let's say a PICO model, or the other models, where how to write in a particular form your methodology. Then epidemiological and biostatistical considerations in designing a research study, sampling, planning, conducting, implementation of a research study, how to write a grant, how to write a research proposal, how to write a research protocol. Publication ethics. One more thing which I would say this course offers, which no other course is offering, is how to conduct a very comprehensive review of literature. So nowadays you will find that most of the papers coming on with with the systematic review tag. So systematic review or scoping review, you will find that there is a systematic way to conduct this review of literature. So this course of basic course in biomedical research offers that, how to conduct this review of literature in a systematic manner, how to extract the literature from your different databases, like your PubMed, like a Google Scholar or Cochrane, etc., and how to put that in a specific format, like, if you're using a Prisma format or whatever format, how to report that as well. So this course is actually skill-based, hands-on, and really comprehensive, really knowledgeable. Okay, the other courses are qualitative research methods and research writing. It's offered by Professor Aradhna Malik from IIT Kharagpur, offered under multidisciplinary discipline. Now, your biomedical researches or the research methodology, it was talking about the quantitative research methods. Here we have a course which is offering specialized skills on qualitative research methods, as well as on the mixed methods research. So again, these courses, they're really, really helpful for a faculty member, as well as for the students early, so that they can go ahead with the, researches. So this course offers your major paradigms, perspectives of qualitative research, how to strategize or how to make up those, those questions or those tools, how to strategize the inquiry, then participation action research, how to collect, how to analyze a qualitative, qualitative answers, the observation, interviewing, analyzing the talk, text, how to interpret them, how to use the different softwares, like let's say NVivo, then how to present, how to write a qualitative research in your research paper, for your research paper. So all of that is offered under this specialized course of qualitative research methods and research writing. Then we have this entrepreneurship essentials, which is offered by IIT Kharagpur, again under the multidisciplinary discipline. And it's again a specialized skill-based course where you'll find a very, key information on how to start, how to go ahead with your own startup. So making a choice to create an entrepreneurial venture, how to start a startup, how to identify the opportunity, how to identify the gap. Now, all of these skills, they are really important while we are dealing with, let's say, your graduate students, while they are formulating some novel food products. So there, it's very important that they identify the opportunity, they identify the market gaps. So there also this course can help. Factors driving the competitive advantages, the organizational structure of a startup, basic knowledge of costing, of pricing, again, that would help a person or a student who is into novel food product formulations early during their graduation, how to, write financial statements, how to write project reports. Again, this is very much important for a graduate student. Then introductory knowledge on marketing management, human resource management, strategic management, risk analysis, how to raise funds during each cycle of a new venture. So again, a skill-based hands-on training course where you'll find key points, key information, all at one place. The other one is the roadmap for patent creation. This course is really, really important for, for graduate, for PhD students, as well as for the faculty members who are into this patent filings. And it is offered under multidisciplinary discipline by a professor from IIT Kharagpur. And it again provides a really comprehensive and bit by bit knowledge on patenting, the criteria, how to read those, documents, the patent techno-legal documents, how to use a patent data for your research analysis, how to identify potential patents, how to plan, how to file the patents, everything in this one course. Okay, coming forward with the SOEM and the NPTEL courses. So now on the NPTEL platform, you will only find the courses which are offered by your IITs and the IISCs or the IISERs. But on the SOEM is a MOOC platform which is supported by the NPTEL. So on SOEM, you will find additional courses as well, which are offered by the other central universities or by the other universities like IGNOU as well. So you will find those courses there. So as you can see, these courses are specific to food, are specific to the nutrition sciences, and these are very basic courses. Also, you will find many of these short videos, short films, which are, developed on these specialized topics like anemia, like adolescent nutrition, or like, women. So these kind of short films also you will find here, which are uploaded by the NIN ICMR. So SOEM is kind of a MOOC platform where you find other courses as well, or the courses which are offered by the other universities besides your IITs or the IISCs or the IISERs. So you will find here these basic courses and you can get a certification in these courses. The first one here is You and Your Food. Again, it's a very basic course, and the category under which it is provided is the health research. It is offered by Professor Diksha Kapoor from IGNOU. Then the other one is the your food and its utilization. Again, it deals with the nutritional status and nutrition during the life cycle or throughout the life cycle. So the first course is offering information on food, nutrients, nutrition, diet. The other course is offering knowledge on the nutritional status and nutrition through the life cycle. The third course is offered again by the IGNOU Professor Diksha Kapoor, which is the economics of food. It deals with the process of planning for food production, then public distribution system, how these different government agricultural policies, they are formulated on the basis of the, how much is the food security or the nutrition security is there in the country. Then it also deals with the food adulteration, the consumer education. The other course is Food and Nutrition. Again, it's just a basic course which deals with the concepts of food, nutrition, nutrients, food drugs, basic knowledge of therapeutic nutrition, your phytochemicals, spices, etc., and their health benefits. Then it is also dealing with the food adulteration and the contamination. It is offered by a professor from University of Mysore. The other course is the food chemistry. It's a specialized course. It is offered by a faculty from University of Mysore again. And it deals with the chemical composition of basically of food groups, the biomolecules, and how to use this information for the novel product development, as well as for the processing techniques, as well as for the value addition for their food products, So this is dealt under the food chemistry. The other courses which are offered by the SOYAM and by the other colleges is the food preservation technology. It deals with the basic principles of food preservation and the food products. Then we have food microbiology. It is offered by the Karnataka State Open University. It deals with your microbial growth, your food spoilage, the characteristics of microorganisms, then technologies and food preservation, fermented food products, food laws and regulations, the other one. Now, this course is really specialized one, food laws and standards. You can refer it. If you're teaching this particular course, food laws and standards, it is offered by IGNOU, professor from IGNOU, and it deals with the Indian Food Regulatory Regime. It deals with the Food Safety and Standards Act 2006 in details. Then you have this global scenario under which it is dealing with the Codex Alimentarius Commission, WTO, HACCP, your ISOs, different ISOs, then BRC, etc. Then export, import laws and regulation, and other laws and standards which are related with food. Then your specific food safety management systems, like your ISO 22000, HACCP, etc. Then food testing. So this is a really specialized and skill-based course, and you'll find a really comprehensive knowledge of food laws and standards under this course. So this is a really good course. Then the next one is the functional foods and nutraceuticals. Again, it's a comprehensive course which is offered by Dr. Rekha Sharma from UGC, and it deals with the functional foods, nutraceuticals, probiotics, prebiotics, other food components, which falls under the category of these functional foods, nutraceuticals, and their potential health benefits and the other non-nutrient effects of these specific nutrients. Okay, so that's it from my side. These many courses I was able to find from the NPTEL as well as from the NPTEL SOYAM. There are some things which I also discussed, I think coming back to the NPTEL domain certifications. Now, I already told that these domain certifications, they are kind of a package courses. So, but still they have to include these food-based courses or the nutrition-based courses here. You will find only, these basic sciences or the engineering courses under NPTEL domain certifications. Then you can also see there is something called as medical courses. Now it's still in nascent stages. And you will find really good interactive video lectures on each and every body part, the anatomy as well as the physiology. If you are into this human body physiology, then you can also find those, those metabolic pathways and really good video lectures on these, these pathways or these cycles, etc. here on this medical courses. So that's it from my side. Thank you all for being such a patient listener.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. The knowledge depth which you have showcased in this given domain is truly commendable, and we are immensely grateful and privileged to have an opportunity to hear from you. Thank you once again, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us and taking out the time, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshita.
Any issue, any question and answers, we are open to it. Please, participants. She has given a wonderful presentation on the online courses, and I was listening to it very carefully. So, and every session of our FDP is really different from each other, and there is no repetition. And I am happy to see that our speakers are focusing on new things, and they are sticking to the topics, whatever are provided to them. So thank you, Dr. Soumya, for giving a brief and exact presentation that we required for this FDP. And please give the feedback of the sessions also. We would be happy to receive that. And so the comments itself are speaking for the speaker.
Thank you. I hope I have done enough justice, particularly with the multidisciplinary courses, because food nutrition science, I know we all know about them. but the multidisciplinary courses are something which are coming up, and we should be well versed in them.
Yes, very right. And nutrition is going along with many of the subjects. So here
Right.
also we are offering the minor and major subjects. So
Exactly.
the nutrition students are into the psychology, into the management, into the entrepreneurship, and many other subjects which are going along with us and going hand in hand. So we
Right.
are a multidisciplinary subject itself, whether you take biotechnology, whether you take any of the subjects. And online teaching and learning is a support for system for the faculty as well as the students. So this
Right.
FDP was designed particularly, the topics were very different. It was not the traditional topics that we talk about. So thank you so much. And I guess there are no questions.
Okay,
And
thank
you for
you.
joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
It was great interacting with you, everyone.
Same here.
Ma'am, shall we start?
Yes, please start. Good afternoon, Shilpa ma'am.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I am fine, ma'am. Welcome to the session of FDP.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Deepika, you may start.
Okay, ma'am. A very good afternoon to all the esteemed speakers and participants with great joy and immense exclusion. Now, I have the honor of welcoming our third speaker for today's session, Dr. Shilpa Chadda Thakur, ma'am. She is the Senior Consultant Dietitian at Asian Hospital. She holds the position of General Secretary at IDA and IAPN Delhi chapter, and also co-convener at NetProfile. She has done her MSc in Food and Nutrition and PG Diploma in Nutrition and Dietetics with over 25 years of experience in the field of nutrition. She has delivered many lectures and talks in various national and international organizations. She is also the registered dietitian. We are very thankful to you, ma'am, for joining with us. Welcome you, ma'am. Over to you. Shilpa, ma'am. Shilpa, ma'am, are you there? I think there's some technical glitch. Dear participants, wait for 2 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think there was some network issue.
Yes, ma'am. No issues, ma'am. Okay.
Thank you so much for the very warm welcome, Deepika. And thank you, Dr. Lakshita, for inviting me. Thank you, MIT University, for making me the part of this FDP. Can I share my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Retain it, we can use as a volume of data collected, wherein later on we can use it for the various study part also. So globally, it is making a very good impact. So let's welcome to the world of digitalization. So what has digitalization led us to? It has accelerated the advances in the power and the utilitarian benefit of the digital technology. They've also led to its processive integration into society. And each step throughout the day, from the moment we had we begin our day, sounding from the alarm music of that alarm clock, and to the bedtime where the digital devices are playing a central role into all these functions. We are actually being bounded by almost all these digital appliances, and we don't even, like a day without them, we cannot even perceive that what is going to happen if we are not around with any of these things. So virtually all industries, including those unrelated to technology also, they all rely on digital technology or some of the. So it is specifically in clinical nutrition, it is not only for just capturing data or performing calculations or automate the processes, it is beyond that. And there are every now and then when the time has been passing, the new apps which have been coming into the market, they have been coming with latest technologies, and they have having a remarkable computing power within the reach. So making our task much more easier the way we want to. So what is exactly the role of AI in clinical nutrition? So artificial intelligence, it has helped us to understand the complex biological phenomena which has been going. It has also helped us to diagnose some diseases from the data which is we're collecting from the app. And it is also helping us to predict the clinical outcomes in much more easier way. So there are many tools, while the diet history has been filled into that mobile application or technology. It helps us to predict our outcome very easily, actually find out if the person is at or not. It helps to design us the novel therapeutics into clinical nutrition. So be it a mobile or a smart device, even like there is a real-time opportunity for us to collect the data, synthesize it, analyze it, and feedback can be given at the consumer level. And we can, once the feedback has been given, and we can use it for various other purposes. So this implementation of AI, this following the rise of this medical technology, which we interest in the application of similar course in nutrition. When we'll see one by one, they will give us an opportunity to optimize the nutrition of a patient. As the information has been taken from the diet intake, we interpret that diet in the context of the person and their health, and we generate certain practical feedbacks which come across, which is very otherwise time consuming if we are sitting with the patient. So this can be based on some questionnaire, this can be based on some pre-fill requirements which the patient needs to fill or not. And then when we are implementing into our clinical practices, so that makes our things much more easier, and the decision of supporting tools, that is whether the patient requires a kind of a nutritional support therapy or just a telehealth for assessment of nutrition, then it can be taken then and now only. So let's see what all mobile applications are available and in what fields we can use. So mobile health application, they are actually representing an opportunity to increase the patient engagement, data gathering, and remote monitoring of the outcomes. Especially into healthcare facility, when we are using this, they are like initially only been used for the wellness, but now they are used for the disease management into leading areas. We have specific disease management apps also being available. In 2020, the mobile health market was $40 billion. You see that the rise which has been come from 2020 to 2022, it has actually grown by more than 17%. And you know, the use of mobile health is just a growing area, and users have, increasing day by day for these downloading health, because health has, especially after COVID and all, we have realized how important our health is, and each and every one of us now exploring these kinds of devices to keep ourselves fit. And even for the dietitians, nearly more than 83% use of the mobile apps is in their practice. This was from a recent study which was there on the use of the digital applications. So despite the widespread of using among individuals, apps remain the area and investigation for a healthcare management. We really need to know whether we can depend on to these healthcare apps or not. So applications which are focused on diet and weight loss, they are the and there are more than 10,000 apps which are being available for diet and weight loss. I have just taken out a few and will be able to share out the few important tips, the important points, highlighted points of these apps. The healthcare provider actually are using these mobile apps to assess the dietary pattern of the patient. They are using, instead of like relying only on diet recall, they are asking the patients to fill those dietary questionnaires just to assess that what they have been eating, the kind of a diet history which has been taken. And it actually helps into taking care of the nutrition care process of the patient. So help them to engage them also. And whatever is the desirable requirement of the patient, that has been taken care by these apps. So these diet focused apps are very widely used in terms of their functions and ease to use. And as the time has passed, they have become much more handier, much more easier for us. The record can be kept for a quite a longer time. And later on also for any kind of continuous feedback which we want to give on the basis of the previous data been collected, that can be easily been done. So if I am able to show certain important apps, so these are based on either on weight management. There may be, these are generally been based on the requirement of a healthcare professional, that what healthcare professional wants to know from the person who is come for a counseling and all. Some apps also have a component of social engagement, like they have groups or the forums been used. So they have the support groups in which the person who's been using this app can participate into it. This is just to make him engage and make him motivate to continue using that app. Then certain features are there which are being used commonly for the tracking of day-to-day their dietary intake, their physical activity, their water intake. So their hydration level and all, it's been checked by these apps. So these are the few apps which I have, I'm showing you. You can see it on the screen. Are you able to see this screen?
Yes, ma'am.
It's
Okay.
visible.
So these are the mobile applications specifically. So Chronometer, MyFitnessPal, many of you must have heard about also. No. So I've used 2 to 3 for each of the disease specific area. So like if we talk about Chronometer, the fasting timer function is to track fasting and see the effect of fasting over time. It specifically works onto this parameter and also includes the input of the foods based on the scanned barcode. It is not used into India, but it has been available outside India, wherein the people are been using it. They are just scanning the barcode to have the input of the food, whether they can use it for their consumption or not. They can even filter the food search tool based on the brands, restaurants, etc., which have been registered under this app. So uses of this multiple database is to integrate the nutritional data. Nutritional coordinating center has been used over there for utilizing among all whatever has been consumed daily by the person. Even the macronutrients percentages and calories, it can be calculated. Even the protein by amino acid composition can be calculated, omega-3, omega-6. It also takes care of the calories burned, basal metabolic rate, fiber intake, micronutrients. I mean, lots of features are there into this app. That is why I wanted to show this app over here. So if we see from the from the side of an healthcare professional, it actually health privacy security standards are being maintained into it, and their ability to view and edit patient nutrition targets, graph, print, and all has been restricted. They cannot do it. Whatever the client has filled, they have limited access to it. And they can easily, become affiliate to the patient also. They can ability to track the changes in the calorie consumed, weight changes. So there are many other, according to the use of the chronometer, the person has been helped by various features, not apart from the weight management or the body fat, even for certain blood pressure intake, blood pressure management, lipid profile, and all are being also been managed into this app. The second, MyFitnessPal, that has also been easily been, you must have heard about this. This is a food tracker again. So it has an ability to adjust the calories and the macronutrient based on individual needs. When you fill up your details, so it will show you what actually, according to your height and weight and age, what are your micronutrients requirement and macronutrient requirement. So it has also ability to share dairy with your friends on the app. Healthcare providers can create an account on the app, but do not have a special designation in the app. So they can also become a part, like a person can, when he's been tracking about his calories and proteins, they can always share it with their own dietitian or a nutritionist also, who can also assess this. Then this is also for determining the nutritional contents, like whatever the food they are eating, what is the amount of carbohydrates or fats into that present. So even it includes the gram of fat from the polysaturated or monounsaturated. The split of the fat percentages is also being given. The sugars, the proteins, even certain few vitamins and calcium, iron are also being taken care into this app. Also, it has the ability to input the exercise by the type and duration which is requirable by the person who has filled up the detail. And it can be done by the wearable devices or update the nutritional needs. So it also captures the trends into the weight, calories, exercises, the calories burns, the macronutrients, fiber, micronutrients. So it is quite a useful kind of an app when it has been spoken about into the field of industry, the app industry. Third one is Noom. We have we have heard about it also. So it is basically used for a psychological behavior change to implement the weight loss. So it has some kind of intake of the questions, which includes screening of the questions for previous interventions, right? Risk factors and motivations and the barriers. So it includes the daily articles and the challenges and the limited access of there is a personal coach or a dietitian kind of a person or a wellness coach who's available. They use the tools to track and to monitor the progress, and the support group has been also been there, and biometric tracking of other parameters, clinical parameters has also been done. There has also been research which was being done in 2016, which was a retrospective cohort study of nearly 36,000 adults which have utilized the Noom app for demonstrating the weight loss, and among 77% of the app user. So it has also analyzed variables that contributed to weight loss, including the gender, baseline body mass, and weight input frequency, exercise, and the dinner input frequency. So there have been many people who have given the positive feedback about it, because normally what we have seen is the weight management is somehow connected with a kind of a psychological change into the behavior also. So while other apps are just based on to the dietary intake, calculating the food, managing the food diary, and exercise and physical activity, it is based on to the psychological impact. So after weight management, what we have seen is another area of interest normally, which has been seen specifically into India, is about disease state, is the diabetes. So there are a number of apps which are being available for diabetes. They provide basically user with a better understanding of their blood sugar management, which is related to the diet behavior. There have been researches also in regards to the same. And the recent research which has concluded was that there are more longitudinal high quality studies which are being needed. As diabetes represent many of the disease state, they may be benefited from the mobile app use, but rigorous studies evaluating the outcomes in the app use for disease management are often outpaced by the development. And so widespread use of the apps is still they are looking for. It has not been much into use. So into this slide, I have compiled few of the mobile applications which are specifically used for diabetes management. One is Day2. It is basically utilizing the algorithm diet, and it requires the patient to submit a stool samples to establish a profile of the patient's gut microbial ecosystem, which integrates with the lab values, HbA1c, to determine the individualized dietary plans of the patient. And it also provides insight into how many uniquely metabolized foods in order to utilize the foods as medicine approach for managing of type 2 diabetes. Then we have another application as known as Glucose Buddy. It helps into tracking of blood sugar, medications, hemoglobin, weight, and blood pressure. It also helps into ability to track the intake via photo recognition or scanning product barcodes. Then data export, download, export to share with the healthcare providers also, like your doctors and dietitians can have an access to it. And then there is also education and coaching about the exercise with the diabetic education plan has been there. And then it has integration with other wearable devices also, like Fitbit or Apple Watch. It can be both can be integrated together. Then we have Dario Health. It is also being used for monitoring the blood glucose monitoring system. And it is also having some glucometer also being used, Lancet and all being used for testing and uploading the complete report onto the app. It is an under FDA guidance for accuracy with 95% of the measurements, which are 15% of the true tested from the lab value. And glucose reads dangerously low. So, I mean, the app text can be given at the emergency context, and the patient can be assessed and form for if there is some kind of danger zone, if they are been having very low or hypoglycemia has been seen. Then diet tracking, of course, is there. It helps the tag the food eaten with the application and the calculations of the carbohydrates, ability to share data with the healthcare providers too. This is mobile applications which I found out from the gastrointestinal conditions. Out of this, one is the FODMAP app, which has been normally been used whenever we are like, especially for the people who are suffering from IBS. And CaraCare is also an IBS app, similarly as FODMAP tracker. It tracks the bowel movements, it tracks the stress, dietary intake, GI symptoms, and it also shows the trends and correlations between the input data and the symptoms which are been outcoming. So it actually helps the patient based on to that to track his diet also. The patient, even they can self also track their diet plan out of it with the assessed for the tips of managing how based on basically the science and the medically which has been validated. They can even chat with the dietitian for their queries and all. So they have the data sharing provision is also being there. Then another one which is specifically meant for IBD, which is Gully Health. And it utilizes the artificial intelligence assistant which gather the data of diagnosis, disease form, activity symptoms, and the challenges which are being there currently the person has been feeling, and then giving recommendations on the basis of there. So daily health and treatment monitors can be done into this. It has an ability to generate reports, and sharing it with your doctors and dietitian is feasible. It has also ability to comment on the post or ask questions on the community-based level also. So all IBD related questions and all can be taken care into it. Then this My Symptoms is another, this is a food and a symptom diary, which has an ability to track food also, bowel movements also, exercise, stress, sleep to determine the patterns and trigger in the diet. And it has report which provides dairy analysis to illustrate correlations with the various factors and symptoms. Even I'll give you a live example over here that when we are using a FODMAP app for the patients of IBS, it helps actually save us from many of the questions which sometimes counseling does not go beyond 30 or 40 minutes. And it becomes very, very easy with this FODMAP app regarding the recipes which have been developed into it, which can be given to the do's and don'ts of a list very easily to the patient, which we can actually, whatever the diary has been filled by the patient into this app, it can actually track the red flags into it, helps the patient to monitor their diet also, as well as take care of their future things also, that in future, whether those red flags, how they can omit from their diet and keep a better track of their diet in future. So these kinds of applications, like use of mobile application from the patient side or for the healthcare side, both can be beneficial for treatment of the diseases. And because sometimes when we are talking to the patient, there are many of the things they're forgetting, they are not able to share it to us. Or sometimes what they're doing is they are not maintaining a correct diary also. Sometimes they forget, sometimes they don't get time also. So with app, it becomes the time consumption for tracking of their diet is actually been lowered down. So they don't have to spend much time in writing out their food diary and coming out for a visit. It can be directly been shared to the dietitian and easily been assessed, and they can be easily been counseled for. So apart from these mobile technologies, we have lots of wearable technology. Almost every second person, even sitting between us, is also wearing some or the other kinds of these, nutritional assessment devices or, health devices, which are being easily available onto our hand. So this is lately, but a very interesting kind of technology. which is a wearable form. And we have lots of consumer health monitoring devices. We all know about it, from ranging from nutritional assessment to non-invisible wearable technologies, which are being used for tracking our steps, tracking our water intake, tracking our heartbeat, tracking. I mean, you can have any kind of, even the dietary assessment has also been taking place with these kinds of wearable technologies. So what we call them, smartwatches. So smartwatches are in for nutritional assessment also. They were initially only one used for tracking only the steps, like keeping you physically fit and fine. But now in the recent advices, like almost like the recent past 8 to 10 years, the things have changed. People only using pedometers for the current devices. Now they are monitoring almost all kinds of their health capabilities. They are the healthcare monitoring devices, be it an accelerometer, pedometer, gyroscope, or a heart rate, or even an ECG, or a pulse oximeter, or an altimeter. So microphone, camera, everything, GPS and all, you can do it from your smartwatch. They have started out with standalone with devices, but they have now greater capabilities, much more than your smartphones. So they are higher into computing power and connectivity also. They can be paired with your mobile application also to enhance the user experience. Like you don't have to pick up your phone every time to track out any kind of thing which you have been using from the smartwatch. So, I mean, they have actually taken ahead of those smartwatches. So currently, much of the dietary assessment which was been occurring by the mobile applications, now it has allowed the users to actively maintain their digital dietary records also. And patient have using this digital food diaries for the to dietitians for their nutrition visit. They can be immediately been seen. So now these wearable dietary monitors, they are being developed. Though in India, still we are not, I mean, that ahead of using those in for dietary assessment. We might be using some apps and I mean the mechanical other instruments, but not these smart watches exactly. But somehow, I mean, like into the coming few years, they are going to take as a kind of a boom into the hospital scenario and the each and every diet clinic too. And the most important or a promising wearable dietary intake sensors currently which has been researched are the sound, image, and motion. This is right now not available into India, but the work has been going on for developing these kinds of wearable dietary assessment watches, which are just from their sensors only can tell you that this food can be used for your I mean medical purpose or not. If you have already been it will be designed actually as per your utilization, very individualized utilization. So acoustic based food intake wearable devices utilizes microphone to detect the chewing or the swallowing patterns also, which can give theoretically insight into the type or the relative quantity of food being taken. So you know how and where the artificial intelligence has been going on. And you know, we are going to depend on to these into the coming years for making it much more easier. So few of the smartwatches which we are already been aware of, Apple Watch Series 6, it can track the fitness, it can even monitor heart rate and all. It can be customized for digital watch face and play music, all these things we are being aware of. Then the Fitbit Sense. Fitbit Sense is basically, this has been used as for the tracking the fitness, for oxygen level, for monitoring on the risk in temperature, tracks heart variability. So much more, even it can estimate your daily stress score also. There is another watch with the name of Samsung Galaxy Watch 3, which can track fitness, monitor heart rate, monitor the blood glucose oxygen levels, takes the ECG, track sleep. They are being analyzing during the running movement and suggest the stride improvement. It can have additional features also, which can be customized as per your well-being or the use also. Then we are having Wear OS Google smartwatch software, which actually only is used for tracking heart rate and the fitness, like the walking or the steps monitoring. But it has variety of designs which can be synchronized with various other apps to make it more easy to use. So where is the future direction for these wearable devices? So if we say that recently released wearable devices reveals the trajectory of the industry, one unique challenge which we face to wearable devices is that their size can limit the computing power and battery life. But ideally, wearing these devices lightweight, comfortable to wear, and very, very power efficient. And when whatever we need to track is taking much lesser time and saving our time for and giving us a quick solution, that all, then we can say that the near and the future variable devices will likely to be relying on mobile applications for user interface than the wearable one. But definitely it is going to have a kind of a revolution once we have been seeing these kinds of things, because it is going to give an access to a common person also whether this food which they are going to eat is safe for them to eat, is good for them. And technology, as we say, was saying that it can be a boon or a bane. It can be used more both ways. So if you want to understand, you need to keep yourself fit and healthy, you can easily assess about the food, whatever the micro and the macronutrients the food is going to give you, and how the food is going to have an impact on your health. So in that manner, it is very good for you. But if you are going to utilize it more or less for a kind of information which is not going to help you out much into the terms of your health and wellness, then obviously we are just wasting time into these wearable devices or the smartphones. So digital technology can provide a very, very good nutritional support, but it has to be done with a specialized team. It need not to be that digital device having this app means that no to a dietitian or a doctor. You still require the support of the nutrition support team to analyze that data and give you a correct guidance. I mean, whatever is your required nutritional needs. So nutrition support team plays a very, very important role along with the digital technology. Self-analyzation need not to be there. We need not to be using like a Google kind of a thing. Ki aapne Google kiya and you have an access to the, solution of your weight loss or your disease and all. You cannot blindly use those things. These have to be patient or the person specific, and making it to a person specific, we require the help of this nutrition support team, which are available. They can help us for making this digital information actually being used into our own, nutrition care process. Whatever the follow-up, the intervention, or the things that's been required, that can be streamlined. So it is a kind of a, you can say, typically a consultative service, which is very, very important step in the recognition of a nutritional concern, like a malnutrition has been there. So it has to be recognized. The app can only tell you that you are malnourished, but what you need to do in that way, that it is help you out from that nutritional risk. So the support of nutrition support team is very much required. It doesn't say that if you are having all these apps or wearable technologies, we do not require the doctors or the dietitians for optimizing our health. And while I conclude my presentation, I would say the adoption of digital devices and AI have been opened exciting avenues for personalized nutrition and optimization of nutrition care. And mobile applications and wearable technologies have facilitated, real-time and multi-type data collection also. This can actually give you us lots of larger data sets, can give us good, meaningful research options also later on. Also, the application of this cutting edge technology, they lag into nutrition relative of the medical or the consumer industry oriented industries, which are still, they are going to be, maybe in future, we might see all these this connection can be seen, but still it is missing. Also, we require a continued research and development in this area while we undoubtedly produce these technological innovations for nutrition that would have, once have relegated to science fiction just a few years ago, where we were just seeing these things into as science fiction movies, that this can see a particular kind of a device, can actually see our health, can check our clinical parameters and all. But now it is in this world, we are using them as a part of our daily day-to-day or care things. So I mean, this is going to be benefited only, but we need to use it very intelligently. They cannot completely, artificial intelligence and digital utilization of all these apps cannot completely waiver off the requirement of the medical team that is still been required. That is the message I would like to give. And whatever the utilization of these apps we have been doing, we need to be actually figure out that these technology is a kind of a, I mean, change into newer things which has been present over there. And technology is just making our things easier to comprehend the world of nutrition and giving us the tools that can help us to make better and more informed choices for ourselves. But it is not that it is completely, we can leave everything onto these things. And I would say my message is like the pandemic time, we have realized and start taking care of our health more seriously. So utilizing these apps can actually help us to coming out of those various kinds of dilemma which we have seen during this time, and can take the help of our nutrition support team for further helping us out from completely being evacuated from these kinds of things. So technology in nutrition, it is very good, and let us use it as a boon rather than making it a kind of a pain for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful sharing of these softwares and mobile apps that are available all over the globe. And I am very amazed to know that so many softwares and digitally, enabled technologies are available in our field. We only knew a few of them, and all few of the courses were known to us. But through this FDP, I'm like, every speaker is coming up with new technologies, and you'll be surprised to know nothing is overlapped till now. Nobody
Okay.
has spoken means about these, or any of the speaker has not overlapped any of the technologies. So I am so glad to know that nutrition field is doing so much digitally.
Yes.
Because when we don't interact, so we don't get to know how much is happening in the field.
Yeah.
So we are really thankful to you, and we were today very much, you taught us that, and our faculties also, because we are the one who will be transferring this knowledge to the children or the students or students of the nutrition. So once again, thank you so much for taking the time from your busy schedule for us
Thank you
and
so
for
much.
delivering such a wonderful lecture for us. I know your schedule is very, it's very busy, and it is very difficult to take out 1 hour also. But thank you so much, ma'am, for coming here and enlightening our
It was a pleasure,
faculty
Dr. Lakshita. It was a pleasure.
and research scholars. And Deepika, please,
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank
I can
you so
leave?
much, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you can leave. And I hope each and every participants got benefit by this session. So I request to all the participants, please fill the faculty feedback and assignment form on time. So with this, I thank everyone for their active participation and hope to see you all tomorrow for more informative and interesting sessions.
So thank you so much, all of you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.